Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Ailey, thanks for watching. Today's video is gonna be me sharing with you the kind of stuff that I have in my Halloween / special effects makeup kit. I thought, because it's coming up for Halloween time, well, I say that, it's August just now, but it will be coming up for Halloween time, that this is the time that I start looking at what I have, what I need to buy, what's kind of maybe gone off since last year and I need to replace and stuff like that. So I just thought that maybe I would share with you guys some of the stuff that I have. And yeah, before we start though, don't mind me, I probably look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. I have been working all day and I've been wearing this makeup all day, so yeah. Swiftly moving on. So years ago when I bought my kind of first few bits and pieces, I actually bought a Snazaroo kit and it came in this massive big box here, which has come in so handy because this is what I keep everything in, and it just has like a little handle on top and it's got little kind of clips just to keep everything safe inside. And yes, this is full, so I'll take the lid off that. It's a bit dusty. It's somewhat organised, but not totally. So the first thing I have in here, because this covers up everything else, is just a palette, and this is just the sort of face paint palette or mixing palette. You can kind of use it for anything. But this is the contents of my box as it stands just now. And I've got just an old, this was a Dermalogica Clear Start toner, and once it was finished I just rinsed it out, and this is now what I keep water in so I can spray my paints and stuff like that, just to make it a little bit easier for wetting the products, because I can just spray it right into the pan, and yeah, it just makes life a wee bit easier. And then obviously I've got a beauty sponge, and I've got a pack of these wedge sponges as well, just because they're really good. You can use them for a multitude of things, so they're really good to have, and I've always got like a bag of them, or I'll get like a new bag every year or whatever if I need to. Another beauty blender. Well, it's not a beauty blender, it's a beauty sponge. I have an assortment of brushes, so I've got like kind of thin line brushes. Some of these might have kind of PVA glue or stuff like that in them, just because I tend to abuse these brushes a little bit. And then I've just got kind of like an assortment of different shapes and different size brushes, old brushes and stuff like that. Fluffy brushes, because I do tend to use eyeshadows and things like that as well, so just a kind of assortment of different brushes. And I think they actually are face paint brushes, so they're not all eyeshadow brushes or anything like that. There are some kind of other bits and pieces in there as well, and I mean you can get stuff like that off Amazon for pennies really. I've got a black eyeshadow in here that I just keep in here because I don't use it regularly. I have some gel glitter just because I think it actually came in this kit. I have a black eyeliner because I feel that when you're outlining, I find that an eyeliner, you know, this kind of teeny wee brush is good for kind of pinstriping and doing outlines and things like that. I've got a mini tub of Vaseline in here, and a couple of, these are just cheap, I think they came in kits, and this is a white cream makeup and a glow in the dark cream. I don't actually know if I've used these. I've got these from a year or two ago. It's just a green Hair Art Extreme Colour paint, and it's just something that you can spray in your hair and it washes out nice and easy. So I have a green one and a white one, but you can get a load of different colours, so if you wanted to. I think I sprayed mine green when I actually went as some sort of lizard thing. I can't remember, but I think that's pretty much why I got it. I've got contact lens cleaning solution in here because I always usually wear contacts at some point over Halloween, so I've got some of that. I have, and this one's actually off, I need to get another one. It's been well used and I think it's pretty much dried out now, but this is the Rigid Collodion from Mayron, and if you want to do anything with scars or anything like that, this is really good stuff. It is really potent, it's really strong, so I would avoid anywhere near your eye area with it, and if you're going below your eye area, just be aware that the fumes of it are just like really strong. But this basically dries down, and as it dries it kind of tightens your skin, so it gives that sort of dipped scar effect. You can kind of pink it up to make a pretty decent looking scar with it, and it's dead easy to do. You just peel it off after you're finished as well. Some spirit gum remover in here, that was obviously in a kit, and I've just got a NYX Jumbo pencil. It's got a brown side and a highlighter side, and it just comes in handy for shading and highlighting and things like that. I have this Bloody Mary Goth, the fake blood, and it's just in a sort of eyeliner kind of tube as well, so it makes really kind of fine lines with it, and that's been going for a year or two now, so that one's still good. And I can't actually think where I got that. I think my mum might have picked it up for me in a Halloween shop. But everything else that you see here is either from Amazon, from Mayron, or just from other online shops, or general makeup items obviously. But that's really good. I really like this for kind of dripping blood and stuff like that. It can be quite handy. I normally just go with Snazaroo for my paints, and I just find that they're kind of really affordable, but they're really, really good quality. So I've got a yellow, a brown, a black, I've got a white one, a green one, even though it doesn't look very green because it's so dirty, sort of army green one, a blue one, a red one, and a Smurf blue one, because my sister-in-law went as a Smurf one year. And the other thing that I've got, and these are both from Snazaroo as well, are Special Effects wax. I think this is the old packaging, this is the new packaging, but this is just really good. You do really sort of have to warm it up, but once you've kind of got it a wee bit more mobile, it does work really, really well. The only thing I would say with doing any sort of prosthetic with wax is it can be a little bit uncomfortable, and then if you get really warm it can get a little bit soft. The other stuff that I use if I'm doing sort of like a bite wound or a burn or something like that is this Mayron 3D gel. This stuff is awesome. Basically it's sort of like, I don't know, sort of like silicone almost. This probably looks really weird, but that's just like the little bit that's in the top. And the way that you use this is basically you just warm up water, put this in it and let it melt. It can be a little bit hot if you make it too hot, and when you're pouring it out it can burn, but just kind of patch test it and you'll be fine. But this is, if you've seen Desi Perkins' melting skull tutorial, I can't remember what it was exactly, but she did the melting flesh and this is what she used. And I find that when you put this on, as it sets, you can make like kind of really good burns and really good wounds and stuff like that, and it's really, really easy to work with. You don't really have to worry too much about removal either, because it literally just peels off. I haven't tried it on anywhere where I've had kind of body hair or anything like that, but it doesn't say anything on it about not using it on that, so you probably would be okay. Because it stays that sort of gel consistency, it probably would be alright, but this is amazing. I just think it's absolutely brilliant, and it just makes your life so much easier. The last few things I've got in here are this Bloody Mary grey sort of paint, and it's kind of weird. It's more like a sort of mousse, and it's really good for if you need to kind of grey up the face or anything like that. So if you wanted to do a skull, or if you wanted to do like a ghost or something like that, that sort of thing. I've only used this once or twice. I can't remember actually what. I think I used it on my sister when I did her as a scary clown or something like that. But it's really good, and it kind of just sets down and it saves you using a load of grey paint, or if you have to mix white and black, it just saves you doing that, and now I'm covered in it. I've got a couple of things of blood here. So I've got the Ben Nye Thick Blood just in this little container here, because you really don't need much of this, and literally it is just, it's sort of like a putty, and this stuff is really good for kind of putting little chunks in wounds and stuff like that, or if you've got burns, really kind of crusty burns and stuff, you can pick out a little bit and add this in. But it's a really good sort of blood colour. If you kind of smooth it out like that, it looks really, really intense, but when you kind of put it on properly, it does really make a nice blood effect, and it stays kind of sticky as well, so it kind of has that shine to it. That's one of my favourite bloods to use. And the other one is the Mayron I can never say that word, coagulated blood. If I can get into it. This one's in a little pot like this, and it comes with this little, I was going to say spatula, but it's more just like a stick. And it's just a little bit sort of runnier than the thick blood, and it's really good for kind of dripping blood and stuff like that. So them two are probably my favourite types of blood to use, and they kind of stay in place. If you were to put a big dollop of it on and let it run. It will run to a certain extent, but then it won't run anymore, but it will transfer. Both of these will transfer, so just be aware of that. I've gone out a few times and given somebody a hug or something like that and left fake blood all over them. It's Halloween, so what do they expect? So the last thing that I've got here, which I really like, is my Mayron Paradise makeup palette. I think that's what it's called. Don't mind mine. It's actually broken at one side over here, and it's been well loved, as you can see, but basically you just get a really good array of colours. I liked it because I didn't have this orange before, and this red is like a really blood sort of red. You've got this sort of kind of burgundy brown, so I really like that, and these are just really easy to use. And it says on the back that this one's the basic palette. So for using body paints and stuff like that, or face paints, I would definitely recommend Snazaroo paints because they really are affordable. I think they're like $3.99 for one of these. I'll find out and I'll put it in the description box for you anyway. This palette here was a little bit more expensive, but I do really like it. Normally in here I'll have cotton balls, I'll have cotton rounds, I'll have cotton buds, stuff like that as well, all that I can use for different bits and pieces. I'll normally have some PVA glue and tissue paper and stuff like that, just in case I want to add some of that to it. But yeah, that for now is everything that I have in this kit. Usually when I think about what kind of looks I'm going to do running up for Halloween, obviously because I will do some for my channel and stuff like that, and then normally I end up doing friends and family's makeup for, usually we have sort of like a Halloween dance. Ideas and that tend to flow, so once I know what I need to do, I can buy stuff, because you don't really know what kind of contacts you're going to need until you know what you're going to go as, and I might find that I'm going to need like a completely different colour in the face paints, but pretty much with every single colour I have there, I think I have enough to kind of mix and match colours to make my own colours. But this kit I would definitely recommend if you want a sort of basis to start from. As I said, with the fake blood and stuff like that, I definitely like Ben Nye and Mayron. I think that they make the best blood. But if you guys have any recommendations of other stuff that I should be checking out for this Halloween, or in fact if you have any recommendations of tutorials that you would like to see, I do have a few planned. I don't know when they'll be up, probably when I'm back from my holiday. But yeah, if you have any recommendations, do let me know. But I think that's it. So I do have a giveaway going on, so if you'd like to check that out, I'll leave the link up here for you. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I post videos every Wednesday and Friday, so hopefully I will see you guys soon.